and we will be casting it. And that's the royal we, myself, and I'll probably drag Kuro in as well.
Aha! As is tradition in Portland and in the Hill. But regardless, we are going to be kicking off this best of 5 grand finals here now on Altitude, where we're here in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Protoss player coming down from the land of Korea. He's going to be representing Abydos, as well as Clan Team NV. He's doing this for the waifus. He is Creator.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Altitude, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark.
I don't know why, but earlier on you were bringing up the we are the cranky ducklings, so we must cast PvP meme. I don't know why it took me a few minutes for my brain to catch up on that, but now I'm remembering that part of that meme was also Armani was involved.
True.
It was way back when we did C stream for I Am Katowice in 2020. For some reason, we always got signed an Armani series. And it was sick to see him improve throughout the year, even make it to a semifinals of GSL, but yeah, unfortunately he has retired, hasn't he?
I think unofficially retired. Yeah, he's kind of stepped away a little bit. We've been seeing a lot less of Armani, and it's a little bit sad to hear. You know, it's always great to see players strive, and alas, Armani does seem to be stepping a little bit away from the game. I think he was still playing in the GSL qualifiers, but I think he only plays in like the GSL qualifiers.
Yeah, one of those things is just like, yeah, you know what, might as well.
Yeah, so a little bit sad. A little bit sad.
Yeah, not seriously competing anymore, from what we can gather.
Yeah, exactly. But we'll see how this series goes, because we have 2 players that are still seriously competing. Dark, of course, has been finding a lot of success in recent times. And I'm honestly a little bit surprised, right? It wasn't too long ago in I Am Katowice when Dark got his last notice about going to the military service, so we thought that things would slow down. But in a very Zest fashion, because I don't know if you remember Zest, but he played in every single tournament he could leading up to the day of going to the military. Yeah.
Well, to be fair, Zest's appointment to the military also got delayed a very long time, because I think he had like a spinal injury or something, or the military. Or like, so yeah, something about how playing video games 20 hours a day for the past couple of years just like messed with his spine in a way. So then it's like, yeah, the military wasn't sure where to place him so that, you know, he didn't die, but also he could be useful. So that ended up delaying his assignment for a year. I'm hoping that's not the same thing here with Dark.
Yeah,
these are it's a pretty serious thing.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure he's doing okay. We're just waiting for when he does get sent out. I don't think there are any dates on it yet, but before that happens, well, we do see the Adepts shading in towards the natural base. They do get a couple of drone kills, but only 2 at the same time. Creator, just like the previous series against Solar, he's going 1 Oracle into the Void Ray.
Very safe here, and we're going to be seeing that hashtag Creator build coming out, that hashtag Creator ground toss coming out from him as well. And we were mentioning how when he pulled it off against Su, Su kind of hurt himself in his confusion. He wasn't really sure how to respond against this very greedy style from Creator. We saw Solar try to punish him a little bit, but he had difficulty doing so on Altitude. Now we're going to see if Dark is able to do what they could not. It's still a very large map. It's still pretty difficult to punish greed, but it is still possible to just dedicate all of your resources into units to try to win as your Protoss opponent is transitioning, especially in the style that Creator does it, where he just cuts so many corners.
Yeah, we'll see if the punish can be there. We'll see if Creator even goes for that build as well. I'm sure he will, but we'll keep an eye on things as he's looking to try and establish this third base. But yo, the surround is real. The Adepts are going to be going down.
Just like so, and Creator is now having a much tougher time compared to his previous opponents hanging on to that third base. He actually has to send the Void Ray all the way back across the map, and this is altitude. It's a huge map. That Void Ray has quite a while before it gets home.
Wow, those Lings got so much value. Looking at the units lost tab here, we got 6 Adepts, 1 Zealot, and a Pylon. Well worth it for all those Lings. Just keep a lot of units back at home. Meanwhile, we have double stasis trap across the map. Doesn't stasis too much though. Only 3 drones get caught in it. As we have confirmation, Creator is going for that Robo follow-up. So far, this is looking just like how he played against Solar. And Su.
Yeah, Robo has fought, yeah. And I'm sure if the games went long enough against Oliveira.
I'm sure as well, I'm sure. As the Dark has a very interesting response, a response that is unfortunately scouted for Dark. He throws down, or he went for a 4-minute 30 lair, which is a pretty standard timing for a lair, but he's going straight into a Hydra Den.
Interesting, and he hasn't resumed gas mining just yet, at least not in his main base. Normally, I would imagine, you know, maybe Dark is trying to get into lurkers as quickly as possible, but yeah, I don't know, considering his gas count, it's gonna take him a while before he can get that transition up and running.
Yeah, I'm very curious as well if Dark wants to just go for Massling Hydra, which Dark has done in the past. Very Miyamika-esque, but he's willing to do so in this matchup. We'll see if he goes for that, or if he does throw down the Infestation Pit. If he does throw down the Lurker Den, he gets eyes on the army, does confirm the Sentries and the Immortals.
Yeah, he should have a sense of what's coming his way. Groove Spines has been prioritized here from Dark, so he does want to be a little bit more defensive back at home. It will help him out quite a lot against the Oracles, but I'm still skeptical of the effectiveness of Hydras against a pseudo Soul Train like this.
Yeah, this is going to hit very hard, by the way, but the Lings, they come in from behind. A couple of force fields are going to be wasted here. This is a 9-gate all-in from a Creator. There is no Twilight Council, no Blink, no Charge, no nothing. Just a pure, sheer ground toss army.
I stand corrected from previous statements. This is actually very different compared to Creator's previous PVZs.
It really is, but he recalls back home. We have a bit of a Ling counterattack as well. Creator, he doesn't like his chances pushing up this ramp into Ling Hydra, and he's transitioning into a second Robo and a Bay.
And you know what? He would be correct to not push up that ramp. There were a lot of Hydras over there, and plenty of Queens with a lot of energy. Very easy concave for Dark to just take out every single unit of Creator.
Yeah, a very disciplined play from Creator here to pivot away from his initial build. He throws down a Forge as well, so he is looking to back off and transition, and he didn't lose too much in his assault. Looking at the units lost type here, he lost like 2 Stalkers and his Oracles, and that's it. And he has been able to preserve his army, so he should be able to defend his 4th base. But before that happens, the Lings are looking to counterattack, and they do come across the army.
Yeah, a couple of them will be going down. But they are expendable for the time being. Dark wants to commit to this push. He's sending his Hydras across the map immediately. No Banelings, as you were mentioning, but pure Ling Bane can still get quite a bit done. This is why you don't see it too often, though. These force fields are, yeah, not going to be able to get taken down without Ravagers.
Yeah, and I don't know how I feel about this push either. These Hydras, they feel very vulnerable. We have a Warping across the map as well. The Queens are falling. The Prism did go down, but the Zealots are getting on top of those Queens. Meanwhile, the Hydras are having a really hard time finding too much damage. The Stasis Trap, the Overcharge is just too much.
And now 2 Colossus, 1 Colossus, is about to pop out. Doesn't have Thermal Lance just yet, Creator, I mean, but this is still going to help out a ton against Lings and Hydras. I said corrected, it's 2 Colossus actually. As Creator decides to go for round 2, he's pushing across the map with a much more potent army this time.
Now I'm a little bit afraid for Dark because there is no Lurker Den. Instead of a Lurker Den, he threw down a Spire. He's going into 8 Mutas right now, and the Mutas are good. They're going to be able to do a lot of damage across the map. But can Dark defend with Ling Hydra against these Colossi?
I want to believe, but I have a lot of doubts here. It's 2 Colossus, and again, it's still going to be difficult to really position them and control them without Thermal Ants, but Dark is working off purely light units at the moment.
Yeah, exactly. Purely Ling, Hydra, Muta. And the Ling counterattack isn't going to be able to do too much damage. The Mutas are going to be able to slip into the bases, but no, there are Stalkers back at home to defend. Meanwhile, the hatchery is going to go down. Dark is setting up a surround.
And it's one that could work out for him, but I do have my doubt. Could have worked out for him, if not for the recall.
Yeah, we recall back home instead, and these Mutas haven't done too much damage at all. They get 5, 6, 7 probes, which is okay damage, but I'm sure Dark was hoping for more.
Yeah, I think he needed more. He is ahead, technically, but not by that much. And typically, you'd expect a Protoss player to be slightly behind when it comes to the worker count. Dark was able to get a pretty long delay on +1 weapons, though, from Creator.
Yeah.
He powered the pylon.
Yeah, +1 weapons is still on the way. We do have a massive Ling Hydra counterattack at the third base, but Creator is so quick to pull away his probes. He will keep the majority of them alive. Mutas dance between them into the main base as well, but Creator was waiting for it.
Yeah. Who needs cannons when you have moving cannons that blink?
Go, the Stalkers were ready. And Creator's actually getting into Phoenix production to help deal with these Mutas. Hopefully he doesn't make too many, just because we have stopped Muta production and we're actually getting into Corruptors.
Yeah, these were the typical handful of Mutas to try to harass your Protoss opponent, but not something you want to keep in your as part of your main unit composition. Corruptors are going to help so much against these Colossus, and which is why it's going to be important for Creator not to overmake Phoenixes and say get a couple of Void Rays here. He has one, but only one.
He does have one. Meanwhile, one Colossus is going to be going down. The Corruptors are trying to focus down the rest. The Prism does go down as well, so we cannot micro, we cannot control, but the Colossus survive.
They do. Only one of them got taken out, and Creator's actually on a much higher army supply than Dark at the moment. As Dark is trying to transition, his Lurker Den is just about to finish up, but his Hive is very much delayed.
Yeah, I mean, Dark is being punished right now for staying on a low drone count. He has 65 workers. That is not really much at all. He's now trying to resaturate his bases. He's taking his gases. He was hoping that the game would end much sooner, and now he's forced into Lurkers. To be fair, these Lurkers are going to be great defensively, and he's going to be able to, in a way, just hunker down and turtle up.
Yeah, it's going to take a while before Creator can really brute force his way through this particular ramp, but at the same time, I guess he doesn't have to. With a low Lurker count like this, I 100% think Creator can fight them if they're split off from an army, and then just keep going.
Yeah, we'll see if he can, as the Lurkers are spread out. We have 3 here on the third base, we have 3 at the fourth, and we have 1 here in between the bases as well. So again, Dark is looking to turtle here on his 4 bases. And Creator can maybe power through one of these, but he himself has also split up his army.
Well, he can afford to at the moment, you know.
Yeah, he can, but that means that he can't bust his way through, so Dark has been able to successfully defend. Creator is maxed out. He has a 200 supply army, but he can't really make use of it. He wants to try to find a way and try to find a crack in the defense of Dark. We'll see if he can.
Yeah, so far, Dark is the one finding a crack in Creator's defense. A little bit of a hole here, leading into the middle line. No probes have really gone down just yet, though. Only 2. Disruptors were in a lot of trouble, let me tell you that.
Yeah, the Lings do slip into the main base. Gonna be able to pick off a Zealot. Nothing too crazy here. The Lings do get eyes on everything, as Dark is just transitioning into Hydra, Lurker, Viper. The Hive is done. I don't believe we have any... Yeah, we don't have any Vipers yet, but we're, headed in that direction.
As the game progresses, Dark will realize, wait a minute, I need yoinks. Hasn't maxed out yet, though, and Creator is maxed, and that is terrifying.
Yeah, Creator has been maxed for a while, and he just hasn't been able to do anything with this army yet. It looks like he's waiting for a 5th. He's waiting for a base to be taken, as Dark has to throw away some of these Hydras, but, they do get thrown away for free.
That's a lot of gas you don't want to be throwing away at this stage of the game, especially with a low econ that Dark has. As you mentioned, only now is the 5th base getting underwear, and I do like that Dark has double expanded, played a little bit greedy, but this does leave him that much more vulnerable. Creator is has a lot to say about Dark trying to go for a double expand.
Exactly, he's here to shut down the base on the right-hand side. This base will be cancelled, not killed. Likewise, we have another army on the left. And I don't think that that Dark can hold on to this. There is one lurker in position, but one lurker is not going to be enough.
Oh, no, there's actually detection in this army, I'm pretty sure. I was gonna say, it's so smart to put the Zealot on top of the lurker for friendly fire, and I was like, oh no. Actually, there is detection over here with this army, and it's actually not smart to suicide your Zealot like that, but that was a very decisive move from Dark, being able to pick off some very key units here of Creator with that very quick burrow.
Oh, he wants more, and it looks like he does take down the Colossi, and Nova's going to be going off for one. Nova is not enough. We need two to kill a lurker, and Dark has the momentum. He wants to chase this down. The force fields will slow him down, though.
Yeah, once again, the lack of Ravagers is slowing down Dark a lot. Creator got a little bit greedy here. A little bit greedy there by the looks of things, and ended up using a lot of his army for free. He moved into lurkers.
Wow.
Actually.
And we get a full surround. How many lurkers do we have? We have 22 lurkers here for Dark. We force the recall, but before the recall can happen, everything dies.
Too many lurkers is the answer to that. For once, for the first time in a while in this series, Dark actually takes the army supply lead. But this is still a very high quality army that Creator has. He's been able to save the majority of his disruptors. He is pumping out Immortals as quickly as possible to help deal against these lurkers.
I mean,
but for the first time, his economy is starting to take a hit.
This is almost pure lurker, actually. Like, unironically, this is almost pure lurker. A couple of Hydras are trickling on in behind this as well. The third base will go down. Creator just losing a little bit too much too quickly. Another Nova will connect. Nice connection there on those lurkers, but he can't really engage, and he's forced to counterattack instead.
He's hoping that Dark turns around, which, if I know Dark, is not likely at all.
And we have lurkers back at home anyway. We have defensive lurkers. If we can't deal with them across the map, what are they going to do here? As Storms will be connecting with the army at least. Creator is gaining some ground. Oh, but as he works his way through, everything else back at home is on fire.
Yeah, the best you can really hope for right now is a trade, and even that is not going to come to pass. GG. Dark takes game number 1.
Wow, GG, well played. What a game as well for Dark to... I mean, initially, he was quite aggressive and he was forced to tech up into lurkers and be very defensive, but he didn't just make lurkers, he committed so hard to them and made so many, and it was very surprising to see him just chasing down Colossi, chasing down Disruptors with pure lurker.
Yeah, that was something that I don't think many other players other than Dark has the cajones to try. That was his one shot of turning these engagements around and really winning them. He had no buffer for those lurkers for quite a while, but at some point he realized, okay, I've got my lurkers upgraded. I've practically hit a critical mass. If I just chase down this very slow grounded force and burrow right on top of them, even if I get just one volley off, I have enough lurkers that the combined DPS should be enough to deal a lot of damage, to say the least.
Mm. Oh yeah, exactly. The DPS from all those lurkers were too damn high. On top of that, we didn't have enough disruptors either with the armies. Again, one disruptor is not enough to kill a lurker, and Creator didn't have a multitude of them to try and deal with the mass amount of lurkers that were chasing him down. So yeah, Dark correctly identifying a bit of a weakness in the army of Creator, and he takes the first game, but that was merely game number 1. We have more ahead of us.
Indeed, we do. Dark played like me on Mike in that game.
He did.
I'm sure Mio Micah will be very thrilled about. 'Tis his idol. Dark is his idol, I should say.
He is. Unfortunately, we weren't able to cast the cat today. I believe Mio Micah was walkovered earlier, which is a little bit unfortunate, but I'm sure he is watching from the distance, from wherever he is now, from afar.
That's how you went from it. They're gonna say he is watching
from beyond the grave,
bodybuilders.
Oh god. Okay.
Because that's why he was always late for GPOs back in the day. He was watching bodybuilders.
Yeah.
As we continue our best of 5 grande finales here on Dragon Scales, we're going to be dipping into Dragon Scales, which is pretty much the exact opposite of Altitude earlier on. Here we are now on Dragon Scales. We're in the top left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the top left-hand corner. We, of course, have our red Protoss player coming down from the land of Korea. He is going to be representing Abydos, as well as Clan Team NV, just dropping his first map of the evening. That is how on point he was until going up against his current opponent. He is Creator.
And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner of Dragon Scales, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Z Gaming. Currently up 1-0 in this best of 5 series. It is Dark. Oh boy. Game number 2. Game 1, again, quite unique to Altitude. We saw both players kind of trying to be aggressive, but struggling with it because the map is so large, and eventually we got into a bit of a late game. You know, Creator with his ground toss, as it usually does, but Dark going to mass lurkers, which is a sight to behold, something we don't see too often.
Yeah. Something that... I don't know about that, like...
Oh?
I think we see lurkers too much for my taste.
You're like, get him out of here, Papi. Get him out of here. They disgust me.
You know what happened to Ling Bane? You know what happened to Ling Bane all the way up in the late game?
This isn't ZvT.
You can split against Ling Bane, you know, and now you got but now you got the lunkers coming down, and you know you got to build liberators, and it's like. You gotta build liberators and ghosts now, and you can't just marine tank it up. And
I was trying to come up with a Brooklyn accent, but I couldn't. I'm walking here.
You know, it ain't the same no more coming in ever since the lurkers came down.
Not wrong.
I'm coming walking here, and all of a sudden I'm getting perforated.
Back in my day,
from the underground.
In Heart of the Swarm,
my day.
Yeah, we had Ling Bane Muta. Ling Bane Muta. That's it. That's all we had. Ling Bane Muta, and sometimes some
That's all you have to worry about. and then you meet that Ling Bane Muta with your Marine Mine Medevac coming down, and then you go back and forth, and then somebody died.
Yeah.
Now you gotta play safe. You know, they tell me you gotta play slow. You tell me you gotta play more positional. I don't want to play positional. I just want to A move.
I just want to ape.
I thought I was walking here. I just want to walk here.
Yaku, we're not even casting a ZvT. We're not. there's no Terrans left, Papi. There's no Terrans left. Also, I think Dark's going for an all-in because that's a really fast roach warring.
That is a very fast roach warring coming out from Dark.
Likewise, he's up against the Twilight Council opener as well. So here we go. Creator going to be mixing things up with some Glaive Adepts. Dark responding very quickly. I'm curious if this is a reaction or if this is just what Dark wanted to go for, as he's going to be looking to cut workers soon, and he's going to be gaining access to roaches very quickly.
Very, very quickly. This was... Yeah, probably the worst timing here for Creator to try to go for a Glaive Adept build in the same map that Dark decides to go for a much earlier Roach War, and he is still getting 3 bases, but he has not made a drone in quite some time. 40 workers, and that's it.
Yep, 40 drones.
Nothing else is being made but Lings and Roaches.
Yeah, and Dark is playing it safe. He's throwing down a couple of spore crawlers as well, just in case it is going to be a DT opener, so he's ready for that scenario. Meanwhile, the Adepts have arrived. In total, this is going to be 4-gate Glaive Adept, not the most committed Glaives, but regardless, still looking for some damage as Ravagers have been morphed in, and the Adepts do not commit.
Yeah, there's a little bit of a window of opportunity here for Creator to get a lot of damage done before too many Roaches pop out. More importantly, he needs to be timing his shades very well to try to keep Dark on his side of the map. The Creator has recognized that these Ravagers popped out quite a bit sooner than in most PvZs, so he is going to have to Yeah, keep Dark back at home while he works on defense.
Yeah, immediately Creator, he just turns around and races back home. He recognizes that this Glaive Adept opener is not going to deal any damage. We are starting Immortal production as well, so he's getting ready for the Roach counterattack. And the attack is going to be coming because Dark still hasn't made any workers. He is making a massive force of Lings, Roaches, and Ravagers.
That's a lot. Pretty much doubling the supply of Creator right now. Practically doubling the supply of Creator right now.
Oh boy, exactly. And Creator, is he going to have enough at home to defend again? He will have a couple of Immortals, thankfully. He also has the Prism that's going to be threatening across the map, but as the Prism leaves, Dark knows that, okay, now I don't have to be staying at home. Now I can just commit across the map, and he's sending everything he has towards the third base of Creator.
And yeah, unfortunately for Creator, this was a massive gamble that he pulled out. He was not able to throw down side defenses in time. He cancels it just in time, but I don't think that's going to be able to. That's going to be enough to make up for this massive swell of Lings and Ravagers that are coming his way. Dark gets a full surround on top of his army. Nice juggling coming out from Creator. He is able to save both of his Immortals, but for how much longer is the question? Quite a while longer.
Yeah, bearing
Quite
in
a
mind,
while longer. The Ling count got really thinned out.
yeah, the Ling count has been reset. Dark is going to back off. It looks like he's content with denying the third base, and he is droning back at home. But now the pendulum swings in favor of Creator. Creator, he kept his Immortals alive, and now he's got quite a lot of Glaive Adepts to work with.
Yeah, he's not remaking his third base, not just yet. He wants to put the hurt on Dark.
Oh, he really does, and Dark is getting ready back at home. We have more Roaches on the way. He's saturating his bases, but again, he needs army right now. These Adepts, there's still a lot of potential in them. They can get out of control.
That's what Creator is really hoping for right now. There actually aren't too many Roaches out right now. But even if there were, I guess there are a couple of Immortals here. Nice split right at the end here on these Adepts, but a couple of them will connect. A couple of Biles will connect to them. Really important. Warp in. The Warp Prism will go down, and with it, so will the Immortals. But hey, Creator was able to seek a couple of Adepts into a main base, into two bases actually.
Yeah, we have
bases even.
We have Adepts at the third that are being cleaned up. We have Adepts in the main base, and they are targeting down drones. 6 drones already going to be going down. This is already doing a lot of damage. But Creator has to be careful not to lose too much as he commits to the shade once again, but he runs into the army.
Ooh. Yeah, that was a bit of a questionable shade. He was able to whittle down the Ravager and one of these Roaches, but now the rest of the army is in position, and Creator's getting completely surrounded once again. He's still getting damage done here. He is still punishing Dark for not fully committing to the all-in. You thought you could drone out of this. Well, yeah, Adepts have something to say about that, but behind all of this, I'm still very worried for Creator. He's not getting a third base. He himself has decided to go all in on 2 bases, and I don't think he has the production to pull it off.
Yeah, he does have 6 gates, which is okay. He's got a second Immortal on the way as well, but he had to rebuild the Immortals. He had to rebuild the Prism as well. This is going to be quite a delayed push, and he's giving Dark a lot of time to rebuild, and Dark isn't re-droning. He went down to 39 workers, and he still hasn't replaced the drones that he has lost. He's still focusing on Roach production.
Gloves are off. You know, Dark, he went all in, and after that, he said, "Truce, truce. I'll macro out from here. You know, you can get a third base." Creator said, "No truce."
Yeah.
And so Dark is looking at me that this is one of the weirdest all-ins into droning, all-ins into macro, into all-ins that I've seen.
Yeah, I think I want to favor Creator a little bit. I'm not gonna lie, like, we have a lot of Roaches, we don't have that many Ravagers, not anymore. And those Immortals, they can pack a massive punch. These Roaches of Dark are gonna have a hard time keeping up with the mass amount of Adepts that we have available here. We have 30 Adepts for Creator.
Yeah, I want to give the edge to Creator as well, but it's all gonna come down to his control. If he's able to juggle his Immortals effectively, then I think he should be safe against the Roaches, because otherwise, yeah, he is just gonna have to tap out. Dark goes for a full-on counter harass with his Lings. If Creator wasn't all in before, he 100% is now.
Yeah, I mean, the harass across the map is doing an insane amount of damage. It's gonna get out of control, but at the same time, we still have 30 Adepts to work with. We're going for another warp in as well. Dark cannot deny it. He can't get on top of the Prism.
can Dark just win by killing all the buildings? I think that could be a possibility here. Creator getting a little bit too ahead of himself there with that shade. Was not going to work out. Sure was a little bit distracted back at home as well. GG is called, and Doc takes game number 2. That was more Boston than New York, but...
GG, well played. Oh my god, both players basically all-inning each other there, and things got really scary for a moment, but Creator, alas, wasn't able to defend back at home. The wall was not a wall. Dark was able to cripple the economy of Creator and force him to push in even further, force him to commit when he maybe would have liked to have taken it a little bit slower, and Dark has a 2-0 lead in this series.
Yeah, I was very impressed by... yeah, we were looking at Creator, we were looking at how in form he is and how dominant he looked against Su and Solar, but I guess Dark is kind of proving that he is still at least one step up against both of those other Zerg players. Creator's gonna have to win this game, and then 2 more in a row after this to be able to win the entire series. This is the first time this evening I've seen him struggle against anyone.
Yeah. It just goes to show the kind of player that Dark is. Again, he is so aggressive. Every single game so far has just been so committed and going for his own all-ins. At times had to transition out of them, like in game number 1, but like Dark is just, again, a different breed of Zerg player, especially compared to Solar, even compared to Ragnarok, and we'll see if Creator can put a point on the board as we're getting into game number 3.
Potentially, but hopefully not, the final game. As we get on into the Ancient Cistern here, it is Ancient Cistern, going to be game number 3 that we're playing this out on, and oh boy, spawn over here in the bottom left-hand side, the bottom left-hand corner of the map. It's kind of like the Lower East Side or the Lower West Side. If I get my, I can't quite get my directions in. Look, I've been in Straya for a while. Everything's coming up upside down around here. As we get into this, we see the red Protoss player coming down over in the bottom left side of the map. Red like tomato sauce coming down from the Guigilianis. That's not a word. Guiginos.
Just like Mama's pasta, you know?
Just like how Mama used to make it with the sauce. Back in the day, as we have our waifu joy coming out here. He enjoys all of them anime dames. Coming up here to represent Abydos. Coming up here to represent Clan Team NV. He represents both because for him, it's all about the family. He is Creator. That was Tony filling in for Ryan.
There you go. And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Ancient Cistern, we have his opponent, the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark.
On the Don, Darko for a reason.
Have you seen The Sopranos?
I actually haven't, now that I think about it.
Mate.
I saw something.
That's like Breaking Bad
I was
before
thinking
Breaking
of
Bad.
Goodfellas, yeah. Oh, I've heard. I need to watch it at some point.
Yeah, it's not bad. It's not
but
bad.
It's on HBO.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Gonna be a while before it gets to streaming here.
Baby, as if that would stop you. What are you talking about? what are you saying right now, Yaku? What are you talking about? Oh, you could...
I'm just making excuses.
Shaking my head. You're out here watching critters in your free time when you could be watching something actually half good.
Look, I haven't been peer pressured into watching Sopranos yet.
Yeah?
You know?
Yeah?
I watched Critters because I was like, because I was tied up. I was abducted.
I
was forced to watch it against my will, and I got Stockholm syndrome to actually liking it.
I'll get
despite
Ares.
it not being great.
I'll get Ares to hunt you down.
Oh.
Okay.
He's too busy on a bike.
I'll get him to tie you up and take you to Malaysia.
Oh.
Aye.
I'll get all the bubble gum.
You gotta work on your New York accent.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Gotta get the smuggling ring going down, you know?
It's not...
Gotta do them a favor. I gotta get the bubble gum coming in here. Gotta keep chewing.
Gonna make him an offer he can't refuse.
Yeah. Otherwise, I'll make him sleep with the fishes, see?
God. As we are getting into this game, and do you see Dark actually making a decent amount of Lings here as well, looking to be a little bit aggressive. We do see 2 slow Lings slipping into the main base, confirming the Stargate opener of Creator. Dark has eyes on everything, and he's going to be looking to delay and maybe even deny that third base.
Yeah, Dark's Lings are just more slippery than a normal Ling. That's also a huge reason of why Creator was able to win those previous series against Su and against Solar. He just prevented the scouting each and every time so well. But Dark, on the other hand, whether it's with an Overlord or with his Lings, he very early on gets eyes on the main base of Creator. He knows exactly what he's going for, and he reacts appropriately.
Yeah, exactly. You know, Dark, he's always ready to lube up his Lings and make sure they can slip into wherever they need to be. But we do have Creator going for some counter damage, getting a couple of drone kills here and there. I believe Creator wasn't able to get eyes on that Evo chamber. This should be for +1 melee. You know, pretty standard setup overall here from Dark, but that is quite an early Evo chamber. I mean, I guess he has recognized that he doesn't need an early Roach Warren because it isn't a Twilight Council opener.
Yeah, he knows that he's going to be pretty safe with just his Lings. Going to continue to be active with them. Going to apply some pressure here and there, you know. What's that gangster? You can tell I was thinking. I was like, what's that thing they say in gangster movies, mafia movies? Like, you know.
What do they say, Yaku? What do they say?
It's like, you know, it's like, remind him. Something.
You need to watch more movies.
I do. I need to one day actually watch Scarface.
You haven't watched Scarface yet either? Mate. I mean, I don't think that'll help you too much with the New York accent. That's not what that is, but sure.
That's more like a Latino accent, I think they did.
It's in Miami, mate. It's in Florida.
Yeah. It's Miami. It's like Will Smith.
What?
As the Adepts shade in and immediately recall back, yeah, Creator just nopes the heck out of that.
It does get the hell out of there. Back at home, we do see our third base getting up and running. Once again, Creator is going to be delaying his Twilight Council in favor of +1 and a Robo. So is going to be delaying for quite a bit as he does tech up instead. Ling's going for a counterattack, but there are plenty of Adepts back at home to defend.
Yeah, a lot more back and forth coming out in this game as neither player is really going for any early aggression. Well, I say that. Both players are actually trying to go for early aggression. It's just that each and every time they get deflected, but yeah, now there's a bit more of an opening for Creator as both of his Oracles dip in. They have plenty of energy, and one of them has plenty of health as well. A lot of drones that are starting to go down as Creator takes a slight work elite. Oh, I say that. But one of his Oracles does go down as well. This is going to hurt Creator so much as the game continues, especially if Dark decides to play a little bit more aggressive.
Yeah, and unfortunately,
especially if Dark decides to put the hurt on him.
Yeah, I mean, Dark, unfortunately, he invested so much into all these things and he hasn't found any damage. They all could have been drones, and especially off of basis of the fact that he has been losing workers. Dark's economy isn't really ideal right now. It isn't what it should be, what it could be. We even have a Stasis Trap into the main base, catching 3 of these drones as Dark is trying to get into Ling Hydra.
Yeah, very gas-intensive composition coming down. A very Mio Micah composition coming down as well. But yeah, this low economy style that Dark normally likes going for isn't really going to work out with a unit composition like Ling Hydra. If he was going Roach Ravager like he normally does, 65, 70 drones is fine, but yeah, he really does need to make sure his economy is as stable as possible and make sure he can really sustain the Hydra count.
Yeah, I'm just worried that Dark has been bleeding out far too much this game. We see Creator moving on out as well with his army. Not the most threatening army, of course, but we do have those first 2 Colossi on the way behind this. The 4th base as well. Creator is sitting back quite well, resting on his laurels and looking to make use of it. Meanwhile, Dark is still trying to get into Lingbane Hydra.
Yeah, which Creator confirms now. So once again, yeah, these Colossus are going to help out so much, but he is going to have to be a little bit careful when it comes to his, the Zealots that he's about to warp into, Charge Lot specifically.
As Prism is slipping in towards the main base, what do we have in home to defend? We actually don't have an Overlord in position. We don't have vision in the main either. A couple of Lings are going to be checking here, and it looks like they will confirm the drop.
Yeah, handful of Zealots. Not even a handful, just literally 3 Zealots. Not really going to do too much here in the main base, but if Creator gets eyes on the drone by the 5th base location, he can absolutely punish that and just continue to keep Dark's economy down.
Yeah, so
as we tech up.
Yeah, we have more Colossi on the way. Dark has cut workers at 77, by the way. He has not droned in quite some time. He's looking to max out on Ling, Bane, Hydra. He will have quite a large army, but a very lair tech army. There is no Hive, there is no Lurker Den or anything like that. Just, again, no infestation bit either.
Yeah, Dark pulling a little bit of a Sue here, just looking to win the game or at least cause enough damage on Lair Tech that he practically has won the game. And I'm still unconvinced that this is going to work out for him. You know, Creator is now starting to morph in a bunch of Archons from those High Templar earlier on. In fairness, Creator does have a pretty small army, but it's a very potent army.
Yeah, I mean, he's got 4 Colossi. This is what we were talking about earlier. Like, this 4 Colossus count is a critical, massive Colossi. We can go toe-to-toe with any army, especially defensively. And I don't really know if this army from Dark can do too much damage. I think the goal here is maybe to run on forward and actually get into the mineral lines and deal economic damage. But that will leave him vulnerable to a counterattack. We'll see if he can pull this off.
Yeah, there's definitely a window of opportunity here for Dark, but that window is very, very tiny and slim.
It is, and we have a massive weapon of Zealots across the map. This is forcing the entire army of Dark to turn around. He's taking this very seriously, and this is going to be buying Creator enough time to max out himself.
Like so, his army supply is finally comparable to the supply of Dark. And Dark is having a lot of trouble trying to engage in this.
Oh, he really is. Bailing counterattack. Bailing Rumbai is not going to find any damage. The safe traps are going to be going off at the same time. Creator is pushing in with his 4 Colossi, and Dark is avoiding the army. He knows that he can't really engage this, so he goes for his own counterattack.
Which is giving me a little bit of deja vu from game number 1, or game number 2, sorry, except unlike game number 2, Dark doesn't have a very strong defensive setup. He's not going to have as many reinforcements or reinforcements that are as effective. Very important recall now from Creator. It's actually going to allow him to surround this Ling Bane's Hydra army.
Yeah, but the Banes, they run on forward. They're trying to get on top of the Colossi. Dark is going to be losing a lot here. I feel like he has to get the hell out of here before the surround does come in. The Prism does fall, but these Hydras are going to get cleaned up. Or are they?
Yeah, or at least they should. They will be able to start a step forward and take out a Colossus as they retreat. So a very inefficient trait from Dark, but a trait that did deal a lot of economic damage to Creator. He even takes out the 2nd Warp Prism that was just trying to get back home. Yeah, Creator is now starting to really feel the effects of losing all of those Archons and a lot of his economy as well.
Yeah, but he still has the Colossi. He's rocking up here once again. This hatchery is going to be under threat. Once again, Dark avoids the confrontation. He goes for a counterattack. 2 Colossi are about to pop.
Yeah, and they will be able to help out a ton, but these are Groove-Time Hydras. They're getting right on top of these Colossus. They have no buffer on them, and at least one of them will be going down. Creator is about to be completely crippled economically. Dark is hoping that he can hold on long enough for this Roach Warren to finish up, for him to pump out as many Roaches as possible, because that is the counter to Colossus. But Creator still has some gas in the tank. Creator still has a path to victory where he just kills all of the buildings of Creator.
Yeah.
And or all of the buildings for Dark, sorry. But
yeah,
the same can be said for Dark here.
I was about to say...
Creator. It's long enough to win.
I was about to say, Creator's army is just massive in comparison. Dark, he just doesn't hold a candle to anything that Creator has, especially with those 3 Colossi. GG gets called. The reinforcements were enough to hold on, and Creator is making a series out of this. We are going to game number 4.
Here we go. Reverse sweep incoming?
Potentially. Again, a really unorthodox style from Dark in that game, going Mass, Ling, Bane, Hydra. We saw that it's very maneuverable, it's very flexible, but can never really engage with the 4 Colossi army of Creator. So I appreciate that we had kind of like a pseudo base trade, or Dark was trying to force a base trade, but alas, we had plenty at home to defend. The Colossi coming out in the defense as well was pretty clutch.
Really very clutch. Dark lost a lot more units than he was hoping for in that engagement. I want to say that if maybe Dark got a Roach Horn earlier and was able to transition out of Hydra Ling Bane after he caused all of that damage with that initial push out, and then, you know, after his Ling Bane Hydra got wiped out, taking out all of those Archons and taking out that third base, and then he immediately transitioned to Roaches from there, I think he would have been in a much better position, but alas, it slipped his mind for some reason. You know, the unit that Dark is known for slipped his mind entirely until the end of that game, and by then it was far too late.
Far too late indeed, and now we're going to be getting into our next game, game number 4. And spawning in the top left-hand corner of Babylon, we have our South Korean Protoss player. He has put a point on the board. He's fighting back in the grand finals of ESL Open Cup Asia 176. For Team Abydos, it is Creator.
But then you want to get over here on the other side of the map, here in the bottom right hand side, the lower east side coming down here. Yeah, I remember the lower east side. I don't like going there too much. That's why I struggle to remember which direction it's been coming up in. You know, it's not my territory. I stay out of the territory. You got our blue Zerg player coming out here from the land of Korea. Them Korea boys coming in. I don't even remember.
Be careful.
I don't know where I'm going. He's gonna be representing Dragon Kaisi Gaming, DKG, because he is cut up here like a dragon. He is blue, like the boys in blue. He is the Don himself, Dark.
Aye. That's what they call him. Yeah, he is Don Dark.
Yeah. Runs his own cartel. Back in the, no, that's a Mexican thing. What in New York? He runs his own mob. There we go. He runs his own mob.
Mafia, yeah, the mob. Yeah. Not the cartel. Aye. Like, yeah, he runs his you know, the Yakuza.
Yeah, he runs the Yakuza.
Yeah.
That's why he's coming down.
From the pizzeria.
Yeah.
Oh boy. It's getting late here, folks. It's getting real late. It's almost 11 p.m. and we're both working off of very little sleep. So bear with us. And you know what? Let's watch some Sopranos together later.
Yeah.
Let's
do it.
Yeah.
Let's do it. I saw the ending before I saw any other scene of Sopranos.
It's like 6 seasons in.
Yeah. Like, in fairness, it was spoiled to me by a video essay that was comparing how much better that ending was compared to Game of Thrones.
True. I mean, look, that's not a high bar. That's a lot of things better than the Game of Thrones ending. Oh boy. As Dark, don't worry, he's got your back, Yaku. He knows how late it is, and Dark is going for a Ling Flood. He is cutting workers at 21. He's pulling the boys as well to drone drill behind the wall. He's going all in. It's all or nothing. Dark has a game to work with, and he may just end it all here and now.
I was gonna say earlier on, you know, this is the time. After losing one map, this is the time for Dark to whip out the proxy hatch. We didn't quite get it, but we are seeing a little, a couple of interesting builds coming out, a couple of variations coming out right now from Dark. He wants it to end, and Creator will be able to get the wall up and running, but unfortunately there's a little tiny gap here that I think allows the drones to get us around on the Adept. It doesn't matter much in the end though, as the Lings are still going to struggle quite a bit to break into the base, and Creator's just spamming more buildings behind all of this. He's building that wall to just hold strong against all of these Lings.
Creator is throwing down that secondary wall. The gateway is about to go down. It looks like Warp Gate should finish up, and we have one gateway up and running for Creator. Meanwhile, so far the body blocking is quite good. He's not letting Dark get the surround.
Yeah, the shield battery pops up just in the nick of time. And it does mean that, yeah, Creator can just body block without worrying too much about taking damage.
And I don't know if Dark can really recover from this. He's going to be able to get us around. He does force a recall. One Adept will fall. Meanwhile, across the map, Dark is droning. But look at how far behind he is economically. He's got a lot of droning to do. And I love this from Creator. He's going for Glaive Adepts.
Yeah, he knows that it's only Lings that are going to be coming out from Dark. And what do you want against Lings? Archons. What do you want if you can't get Archons? Storm. What do you want if you can't get Storm? Colossus. What do you want if you can't get Colossus? Glaive Adepts. And DTs, potentially, because, you know, why the hell not? Transition them into Archons, and once Dark sees them, he's going to have to tap out.
Yeah, I mean, he heard you say Archon earlier on in that list, and he's like, hey, you know what, why not? Why not throw down the Dark Shrine? Why not also take up in that direction as well? So, Creator has been able to defend it beautifully. He barely lost anything. He lost a handful of units and a gateway, and that is it. And now he's in just a beautiful position. Dark is up against the wall right now. He needs some miracle Baneling connections, or when the Adepts shade across the map. Like, that's maybe the only way he can come back in this game.
Yeah, he is relying a lot right now on Creator slipping up, or for just RNGs to decide to go all in on Dark right now.
Yeah, and
Slip him all of the RNG.
Yeah, here we go. The
Slip a little
Banelings.
something on the table.
The Banelings are being morphed in. Dark setting up a surround, but it looks like the Adepts will come across the morphing Banelings.
I love the idea of this coming out from Dark. The ambush actually still kind of works out. Yeah. He's still getting some decent connections, but I don't think those were good enough right now. As Creator still has plenty of Adepts standing, he's starting to get surrounded. This was a bit of a delayed shade coming out from Creator, actually.
Yeah, it looks like Dark is going to be able to clean up every single one of the Adepts. A good trade for Dark, but can he sustain this? Because he's still losing a lot of Lings, and Creator can warp in more waves of Adepts. Dark is struggling to rebuild his army.
That is important to take note of. As good as that engagement was to Dark, it costs him way, way more. It's a very weird scenario where you could say, oh yeah, the Protoss player could lose their units and be fine, but the Zerg player really needs to be efficient with their trades. It's like, what? But yeah, this is one of those rare scenarios where that does apply. Creator, you know, still can't afford to just waste his Adepts, but he can afford to take more risks with them. He can afford to, you know, take a few more engagements that aren't 100% his favor. Whereas Dark needs to make the full use of his Lingbane and then some.
Exactly. As Dark is still on a very low drone count, but he's going or transitioning into another all-in. We have a Roach Warren. Roaches are on the way. Pure Lingbane Roach is going to to take a choice, but there's no detection. Ah, this is just checkmate.
This is GG.
Yeah.
This is This is way too much. 2 Spore Crawlers are now popping up, and oh, really good body blocking and manual detonation here from Dark. But I fear that he wasted too many. He spent too many Banelings on that, and now second DT is coming on the way.
Well, he made the best out of a bad situation. He's going to be able to manually detonate these Banelings as well, but this is keeping Dark back at home. And Dark, he's droning. He is forced to drone right now, and that's the last thing he wants to do. Spore is looking to reposition, and I'm surprised Creator wasn't chipping away at this hatchery. I do think that he could have, especially because there's no lair or anything. Like, there's no other means of detection until now.
Yeah, I guess he didn't realize that, though. As he does want to just play this safe. He knows how much of an army Dark has and how desperate he is. You know, Creator doesn't want to poke the bear too much.
Oh, he really doesn't, as the last DT does get surrounded. Dark is going to be able to maintain control of his side of the map. Meanwhile, across the map, Glaives is done. Oh, we even have a massive amount of Stalkers as well. Blink Stalkers and Glaive Adepts. This is going to be quite a terrifying army.
Yeah, this is probably best case scenario for Dark, and even then it's not, things aren't looking too favorably for him. Creator has gone for Blink Stalkers, and I do appreciate that Dark did not neglect his melee upgrades earlier on. Oh no, actually he did. Never mind. He got it and then canceled it to get range. So, yeah, this is 100% best case scenario for Creator.
It is, as he does target down 3 of those Banelings. We have a couple of Adepts threatening to shade in towards that natural base as well. Dark is up against the ropes right now. He's trying to dance here with these Stalkers, but he can't really keep up, especially because the creep is so far back. Again, he never intended for the game to go on this long.
Yeah, he's really scrambling to try to figure out how he can macro himself out of this situation, or if there's going to be an opening for him to just go all in with roaches and lings, but Creator is making it much more difficult for Dark to find his answer. He even supply blocks him with that Overlord snipe, and he's just showing off how far ahead he is, sniping those slow Banelings because he can.
Yeah. Just flexing his micro a little bit behind this. We have a 4th base on the way. Creator still far ahead in the worker count. We have +2 that's about to kick in. We have charge on the way as well. We have the DTs to morph into Archons if we so wish. Has to be a little bit careful about pushing onto creep though, as these things are going to be able to pick off some of these Stalkers.
Yeah, blinking backwards helps a little bit, but as always, you know, Lings get right on top of the Stalkers after that goes down. A couple of Adepts manage to sneak into the mineral lines, and they are able to pick off a lot of drones.
Oh yeah, 11 drones do go down. Drones that Dark just cannot afford to lose, as +3 attack is on the way for Creator. The Stalkers continuing to just dive in towards this 3rd base, and over time, Dark, his army is getting smaller and smaller, and here come the reinforcements.
Yeah, his army's getting smaller and smaller as Creator just gets bigger and bigger. War Prism is on the way, but just in case it doesn't get here in time, Creator's also setting up a forward gateway.
Yeah, the pylon is on the way. He's pushing on forward here as well. GG gets called, and Creator takes game number 4. We are going to the ace match.
Santa Maria! That's not how to say it, but yeah, wow. This was kind of what I was expecting going into the series, but after game number 2 and after seeing how in control Dark was in the first 2 games, I was really starting to have my doubts. I was thinking, oh man, was I hyping up Creator a little bit too much here? But no, not at all, mate. As Creator proves why it is exactly that he is still in contention of being Heroes consigliere.
What? Is what?
In the Protoss Mafia.
Yeah.
You know? His right hand.
Yeah, his enforcer. He's a made man.
The made man.
Yeah.
It's about that.
His quinceañera? Is that what you
the man? His quinceañera. His quinceañera.
God.
Yeah.
There you go.
You know what they call it? When, you know?
Is what?
His Yakuza?
Huh.
Get up here. As we get on into our final map of the... Ryan's fighting with Tony right now. It's struggle.
They're fighting for control of the mic. Control of the throat.
We're coming in here as we get in a royal blood. I remember this day back in '92 when the Bloods got slipped. We are coming in the royal blood right now. Coming in here, we are tied up sideways 2-2 in the best of 5, and we are looking to see who dominates in the end, who edges it out, and who will be sleeping with the fishes. So we're in the bottom left-hand corner map, spawning all the way in the bottom left-hand corner of the map. We have red Protoss player, red, like the color Mama's tomato sauce back in the day. Mwah, good as grandma's. He is coming out from Atlanta, Korea. He's the import, the exchange. That's what it is. he's the exchange, you know, from coming out down here in the Lower West Side. He is going to be representing Abydos. He's got the abs. He's representing Clan Team Envy. He's representing the family. Come down here. He's representing the family. Come down here. He is the waifu enjoyer himself. Appreciator of the dames. He is creator.
And spawning in the top right-hand corner of Royal Blood, we have as opponent, we have the South Korean Zerg player representing CranKy Gaming. It is Dark.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, that's right.
Hate it now.
Oh my god, halfway through your intro, I zoned out and I thought you'd finished. That's why I went to the other side of the map and I was like, oh no, he's still going. He doesn't stop. Oh, okay.
I'm still figuring out who is who.
Who's who?
Who is who?
Fair enough, fair enough.
Who is coming out tonight? Who is controlling the throat?
Oh boy, yeah. As we're getting into the ace match here, game number 5 of the grand finals of ESL Open Cup Asia. Glad to be joined here, not just by Yaku, but also by Tony and by Ryan as well. Ryan.
Yeah. And who knows who else is in there, deep in the recesses.
Oh. Of the brain.
Of the, well, brain, quote unquote.
It's fine. I'm just starving and I'm ordering food right now.
Oh, I should do that.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna, but
Okay.
gonna raid the pantry after this.
Yeah. I assumed I would be okay and I'd be able to make it all the way through OSC King of the Hill, but that's not gonna happen, mate. That's not after Tony. It's not gonna happen.
Not after, you had to expend more brain power to try to figure out what the hell was being said.
Yeah, I'm glad you understand, yeah. I'm glad you understand.
Yeah. I thought there was
go on.
I thought there's a crossover between New York accents and Aussie accents.
I mean, that's why you were born. That's what you're made to do. That's why you're on this earth.
Right in the middle of it, yeah.
To merge the accents.
Exactly.
Okay. As we are getting into this, and yeah, I don't know if you didn't realize something, but I think someone wants to go to bed because Creator went for a standard Stargate opener. Everything's looking normal, but Dark responded and reacted with a very fast Roach Warren instead, and after seeing the Oracle, there isn't really much reason to. Like, there's no Glaive Adepts, there's nothing to really threaten him, so I'm really curious to see what this is going to be for. We do have that lair on the way as well. We'll see if this is all going to be adding up to one big push.
Well, Dark is out on 53, about to be on 46 drones, and I have a lot of doubts about whether or not he's going to make any more from there on out. He actually is. Never mind.
I was very confused as to how you were counting when you went from 56 to like 44, and I was like, wait, what?
But you don't need math.
Yeah.
When we in Nork, you know?
Yeah, the numbers, they just come in. They just are.
They come in, they come out.
Can't explain that. As it is see Dark, I guess it was just a safety Roach Warren just in case. He's going to be droning, going to be taking that lair as well. So, yeah, just going to be looking to saturate his bases. And unlike the previous games, Dark hasn't really made too much. He made actually one Roach apparently, and he's sending everything across the map. Oh, a handful of Roaches, never mind.
He's sending everything.
Yeah.
But he's also droning up hard behind all of this, so yeah, he's just trying to see what he can get done here, and unfortunately he doesn't find the opportunity he was looking for.
I think he was trying to fake out Creator. I think he wanted to reveal his Roaches to the Oracles and hopefully cause an overreaction, and Creator is starting up an Immortal, but I think he would have made that anyway, to be honest.
Yeah, exactly. That's what he was doing this entire evening.
Yeah.
Every single ZV, in every single PvZ, even the games where he had to scramble and defend against the early game. You know, that game on Dragon Scales, where he was relying a lot on his mass amount of adepts. Towards the end of it, he was like, I still want Immortals, though.
Yeah.
And he got him.
Exactly. The Immortals have been quite immortal for Creator. Meanwhile, the Oracles are diving on in. They already get quite a lot of damage. 4 drones go down. The Oracles do barely survive.
That could not have been intentional, but that Spore Crawler was targeting the hallucinated Phoenix, which allowed the Oracles to get a little bit more damage in and dip out. I have no idea if that was intentional or not, but if it was, that would have been an insane move.
Yeah.
Not one that can be not one that's easy to replicate, I imagine, but damn.
Mm-hmm. Creator just turning water into wine, taking advantage of the opportunity presented to him as the Oracles dive in once again, and they both barely do survive. Don't get too many drone kills this time though. Dark was very quick to pull those workers away, as Dark is going to be headed towards that Hydra Den once again.
Yeah, taking a page off of Mio Micah's book, but this time, Dark is getting a much earlier infestation pit. You should be seeing a much quicker transition to Hive, and I imagine lurkers as well.
There you go. I imagine so, as we're just rushing into that Hive. We have seen Dark rush into lurkers in the past, and it looks like that's the kind of setup we're getting at. There we go. We do have every single gas geyser being taken. The gases are the priority, but can he survive long enough? Because Storm is on the way, the Prism as well. Soon, I imagine Creator is going to be hitting the field.
Yeah, he wants to. He really, really wants to. His army, his supply is starting to reach that halfway point. Well, I say halfway to maxed out. Technically 100 would be halfway to maxed out, but you know what I mean, right? Where it's like he's getting a comfortable amount of supply, getting close to 150, 160, where he can start maneuvering around his ground army. Before that happens, he can still do a whole bunch of his oracles, evidently, as 10 drones go down. A lot of oracles end up falling to that Spore Crawler and those queens. But at this point, Creator really does just want to get rid of them so he can get more supply available for Warp Prisms. And not Warp Prisms, Immortals and Archons and whatnot. You don't want to get more Warp Prisms.
I mean, you say that, we do have a second Warp Prism on the way, to be fair. So it's the reason why you said that, but here we go. There is a window where Dark doesn't have lurkers, where Dark is in the middle of transitioning and Creator is pushing on forward. We only have a handful of Ravagers, no Banelings, a handful of Roaches as well. Dark is not ready for this.
Not at all. And Creator is going straight for the throat right now. Lurker Den did not finish up just yet, or wait, hold on.
Did finish.
Yeah, Lurker Den just finished up, as did the Hive, but it's gonna take a very long time for him to morph those Hydras into lurkers. Dark needs to fight with everything right now. He needs to build as much army as possible. And here comes Creator with 2 Warp Prisms right next to each other, just in case one of them goes down.
The Prisms have arrived. The Immortals are going ham on the Roaches, the Queens, the Hydras as well. It looks like Dark's army is crumbling. He's coming in with some reinforcements, but this base is going to be going down, and he lost almost every single Hydra. He cannot morph in his lurkers. He cannot make use of his Hive. He was thinking a little bit too far ahead.
Yeah, that was a cool little maneuver over there where Dark did force Creator's army to split off a little bit, and he was getting some pickoffs and some volleys on the Immortals and whatnot, but in the end, Creator just consolidated, and he takes this entire series, this entire tournament, 3-2, very well fought and very well deserved. I cannot believe I ever doubted him, Light. I cannot believe that I thought, oh, this is going to be a quick Dark 3-0. That was a massive turnaround coming in here from Creator with that reverse sweep, no less.
Yeah.
Just when things were looking at its worst in game number 3.
Exactly. Things were getting very intense, and a very impressive result there from Creator to pull up the reverse sweep. He was at death's door. He was down. He was on the ropes, that he was able to win 3 games in a row. Very impressive stuff here from Creator, and GG. You know, he did stumble a little bit versus Dark, but he was able to bring it all back in the end. And yeah, I'm just really impressed by it. Not just his performance here in the finals, but his performance throughout the entire tournament.
Mm-hmm. The first time he dropped a map here was against Dark, who was the other player who really dominated his side of the bracket. 2-0ing Bjorn, 2-0ing Nightmare, 2-0ing a lot of other players coming in here, but Creator, he also 2-0'd Sue. He also 2-0'd Dash. He also 2-0'd Oliveira and Solar. So this was already something. This was already a finals that we knew was going to be very close and we knew was going to be very hype, but I didn't think I would go through that roller coaster of emotions and that roller coaster of tension and that roller coaster of accents in this one single best of 5. This is one that I'm going to remember for quite a while as a fan of both Creator and Dark.
Oh yeah, exactly. I mean, that went the distance here. We saw it all. We saw some macro play on, I mean, not too heavy macro play, but we were kind of rushing into tech in a way. We saw some cheese as well. We saw some all-ins versus all-ins, back and forth here between our two players. Hyper aggression all around, and what a series. What a finals.
What a finals, yeah. Yeah. And after all of the one-sided series that we did cast, I think the only one series that wasn't a 2-0 that we were able to catch was Nightmare versus Ragnarok. But we jumped in mid-series, and at that point, Nightmare 2-0'd. But won 2 games in a row after that. So yeah, it's very refreshing here to see a series that was very, very competitive coming up here. And it just goes to show that just because we are missing some of the big names, some of the heroes, some of the cures and whatnot, it's still a very stacked bracket. There's still a very high level of competition coming in these ESL Open Cups, and it's a really good way for players, to practice, get back in form, give them a bit of incentive to keep competing, and also a pretty good way for us viewers to be very thoroughly entertained and to also get a sense of how players are doing at any given moment.
Yeah, definitely. It's a great insight, not just into their current state, but also, we got to see Sue, for example, earlier in the day as well. It's great to catch up with some of these other players, Rebellion, Nightmare as well. Just a great tournament, a great turnout overall, and oh boy, I didn't expect it to go the distances like this in such a manner, but I'm glad that we were able to bear witness. Glad.
As am I. And as are the 4 people who predicted Creator win this. 18% of channel points went to Creator and 82 went to Dark, so enjoy those.
There we go. Enjoy. GG, well played. Congrats to the people that did end up winning out on those bets. And with that, we are done here with ESL Open Cup Asia. But we're not done for the day because we have another tournament, another cast right around the corner.
I think it already started, actually.
Oh, it did.
Potentially, yeah.
we're a little bit late to it, probably, but it's all good. But thank you so much, Jakob, for joining me today for ESL Open Cup Asia. I appreciate it. I know that you're busy with your studies, and I know you don't have the most amount of time to dedicate to casting as much anymore, but I appreciate it whenever you do have time. Thank you.
Yep. Which, this was the last of it. I'm gone till the middle of June.
It's over.
See you guys then.
There you go. See you then, Pop. See you on the other side. But again, thank you so much for joining me. Oh, and yeah, do you have anything you want to say before we head off? Because I have to very quickly set everything up for our next cast.
Yes, happy birthday to our fake Korean in our clan himself, Sarji. It is his birthday. Our doctor, ambulance driver, fly director himself, and now a full-on American, Sarji.
There you go. Thank
Living
you.
in the Upper West Side.
Yeah, shout out to Sarji, a fellow CranKy Duckling, and it is his birthday today. It is his birthday. With that, thank you so much for watching. Thank you so much for the support.
He's a man now.
God damn it. We're going to be going on a short break. We may even restart the stream so we can reset the delay as well. And when we return, OSC King of the Hill, they're currently in game number 4. Ooh, quite a number of matches have already been going on. 15 matches in total. Plenty more coming out tonight.
10 to go.
10 to go. And I'm going to be there to cast it and bring you as much of it as I can.
Ooh. I will also be there in the chat if I'm not asleep.
There you go. See you then.